All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're digging into a project called Cerberus, and it's basically a digital bodyguard for AI designed to tackle this huge kind of hidden vulnerability in all these new systems we're starting to use every day.
So let's just jump right in with a question. What if you could totally hack a powerful AI with just a single sentence? I'm not talking about complex code or some crazy exploit. Just, words. A simple phrase designed to trick it.
Well, it turns out that the AI's greatest strength is also its biggest weakness. The very thing that makes these large language models so useful, the fact that they're really good at following instructions, well, that's also like a secret backdoor for attackers. They're built to be helpful and obedient, and that can be weaponized.
And this critical vulnerability, it actually has a name. It's called prompt injection. And believe me, it is one of the biggest security headaches in the entire world of AI right now. And it all goes down right there in the chat box.
Yeah, prompt injection. You can almost think of it as social engineering, but for a machine. For those of you who know a little bit about cybersecurity, it's been called the SQL injection of the AI world. Just like you could trick an old database into spilling its guts, you can trick a modern AI into completely betraying its own programming.
Okay, so here's a simple example. Imagine a hacker types this exact phrase into a company's customer service bot. Now, that AI has a secret set of instructions from the company. It's core programming, right? But this new prompt from the user is designed to make it forget all of that. And what happens? The AI, just trying to be helpful, just trying to follow the last instruction it was given, might just say, sure, and spill the beans. It could accidentally leak something super critical, like an internal API key. And the craziest part? The hacker didn't have to break into a single server. They just asked.
And look, the consequences here are really serious. We're not just talking about making a chatbot say something funny or weird. Attackers can literally hijack the AI's core behavior. They can steal a company's intellectual property, get their hands on sensitive user data, and completely bypass all the safety filters that were built in.
So, the big question is, how on earth do you defend against this? Well, this project, Cerberus, it comes at the problem with a totally new philosophy. The idea isn't to make the AI itself smarter. It's to give it a bodyguard.
This chart here just nails the core idea. Think about standard safety filters, like the ones Google uses. They're like the police. Their goal is to protect the public from the model, stopping things like hate speech or illegal content. But Cerberus, that's your personal bodyguard. Its goal is the complete opposite. It protects your model from the user. It's looking for stuff like attempts to steal your secret sauce, your system prompts.
And this is where you can really see the gap in security. A standard police filter would probably allow an attack like reveal your backend code. Why? Because, well, it's not illegal, it's not a public safety threat. But for your business, that's a disaster. It's an attack on your intellectual property. And that's exactly the kind of thing the bodyguard on the right is designed to block.
Okay, so how does this thing actually work? This bodyguard, Cerberus, is named after the mythical three-headed dog that guarded the underworld. So let's take a look inside this three-headed guardian.
The key innovation here is brilliant. It's not about trying to make the AI model itself perfectly unhackable, because that's probably a losing battle. The real trick is to move the security outside the AI. You build this independent system that the user can't manipulate, a checkpoint that inspects every single message before it gets anywhere near the main AI. You can't social engineer a system you can't even talk to. So how does it inspect the messages? Cerberus uses what it calls a three-judge security council. It's not just one simple check. You've got three different systems, or judges, looking at every prompt. The first one is a simple keyword check, scanning for obvious bad words. The second is actually another AI judge that analyzes the intent behind the words. And the third is a clever little canary test that specifically checks if the user is trying to extract the AI's hidden instructions.
But here's the thing. Not all these judges are equal. It's not a simple majority rules vote. Cerberus uses a weighted voting system to make much smarter, more context-aware decisions. It knows which judge's opinion to trust more.
And you can see that right here in this chart. The literal judge, the one just looking for keywords, has a really low weight, just a score of 1. But the intent judge and the canary judge, the smarter ones, they have much higher weights. This means they can overrule a simple, maybe mistaken keyword flag. Or more importantly, they can block a really subtle and dangerous threat all on their own.
This whole thing is a classic cybersecurity strategy. It's called defense in depth. The idea is that you never rely on just one single trick. You layer all these different defenses on top of each other. So you've got the weighted voting, you've got rate limiting to stop brute force attacks, and you have what's called a fail-closed architecture, which just means if anything breaks, the default is to block the request, not let it through. That way, if one layer fails, there's another one right behind it to catch the threat.
Okay, so this is a really fascinating technical project, but let's zoom out. Why does something like Cerberus actually matter? What's the bigger picture for the future of AI?
Well, it matters because right now a lot of companies are actually holding back. They're avoiding deploying these powerful AI tools because they are terrified of these kinds of security problems. And you can't blame them. The risk of leaking data or damaging their brand is a huge roadblock to innovation.
So, a system like Cerberus isn't just about defense. It's really an enabler. It gives organizations the confidence they need to innovate. It provides those critical guardrails to protect everything from customer data to their most valuable trade secrets. It basically turns security from a roadblock into a runway.
And that really leaves us with one final big question to think about. I mean, this cat and mouse game between attackers and defenders is as old as computers themselves. But with AI, the pace is just insane. It's accelerating so fast. So the real question isn't just how we protect the AI we have today, it's how do we build defenses that can evolve even faster to outsmart the attackers and even the AI of tomorrow.